Hey everyone, I just wanted to share something that I've been sharing with my yoga classes over the past 2 days, and that is the myth of Aquarius. So, whenever we find ourselves in a time when we don't understand what's happening, one of the ways that was used to tell time was to look at the stars. And there are smaller cycles of time that have to do with the planets moving into different houses, and there's larger cycles of time which have to do with a turning of the ages. So the phrase of when we move into a new age, I think that term new age has been kind of hijacked to mean like not Christian or something, that's something other. But the term new age actually means a new beginning of time, a new era, a new period of consciousness for humanity to work on particular lessons. So when the world is changing all around us and there is more unrest and we are not sure what's happening, we look to the stars and we look to stories and myths to help us make sense of the unknown. So I was curious about who this Aquarian figure is and what this age of Aquarius is all about, because I know that at the time of Moses, they were leaving the age of Taurus and moving into the age of Aries. And that was one of the reasons why when Moses came down from the mountain, he was upset to see the people building a bull to worship, because they were moving out of the age of Taurus and into a new covenant or a new way of learning. And though the people wanted to go back to Egypt or go back to being slaves, the people were being called to live in a different way. And yeah, there was lots of goofy things that happened too. But then there was the Piscean age, which Jesus was a part of bringing in. And now we're moving from Pisces into an age of Aquarius. So as the structures are changing on Earth and falling, what is this myth of Aquarius? What is it that we are being called as a people to move into? Well, one of the myths that I discovered was about a young man who was the son of a king of Troy, and he was a young teenage boy. He was very handsome, and he caught the eye of Zeus. And Zeus, being Zeus, takes what he pleases and kidnapped this boy and took him to Mount Olympus to live as his boy lover and his servant. So in that time, that was common for older men to take a younger man on as a lover slave. So hashing out some patriarchal issues and power stuff. So Zeus gives his family some money and tries to pay them off and make everything fine. And the young boy is on Mount Olympus and tired of getting effed in the ass by Zeus. And finally he's had it. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this. And so he pushes over all of the bottles of wine and he pushes over the containers of Amrita, or the elixir of life, or that which is immortal. And when he pushes out or pours out, he's called the water bearer, he pours out the pitcher of Amrita, it falls from Mount Olympus all the way to the earth. And he's giving to the people of earth the elixir of immortality. And he's also giving to the people of earth all of the gifts that the gods were storing up for themselves and weren't sharing with the people. So the myth of Aquarius, or the Aquarian age, is about those things that were not shared with us. It could be secret technology. It could also be this Christed energy. The Amrita can also be connected to the Shakti energy, the life force, the what else am I looking for here? The Kundalini energy, and those gifts that the enlightened ones have been able to work out in their own body becomes more easily available to all of the human beings. So the age of Aquarius is about humanity receiving those divine gifts and about pushing over those systems of slavery and oppression and the ways in which those who have had more power or were perceived to be more divine, it levels the playing field. So that is the good news of what it is that we're moving towards. We're moving towards a more balanced society of humanity receiving these gifts from the gods, gifts from above, and to become an enlightened species. Okay, so I think this myth is also about those of us who find ourselves in the position of this young man who's been raped and stolen from his family and feels like he's enslaved to the gods, when he's like, I'm done with this. You know, he's like the cat that's just gonna push all the things off of the table. I'm done with this, I'm done with this, I'm done with this. And so it's important for us to recognize when we find ourselves in a place where we're saying, I don't have a choice, or I just have to do this because the authority is telling me I have to do this, or I just have to keep bending over and taking it. There's nothing I can do. When we find ourselves thinking those things, it's like, no, that's the time to flip the script and say, no, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna do this. And so whatever that looks like for us, and whoever those beings are that possess that strong Aquarian power, I would just encourage you to make those boundaries. Now is the time to make the boundaries and say, I'm not gonna take it anymore, and I'm going to do what is best for everybody. I'm going to have a self, I'm going to have sovereignty, and I'm going to share that sovereignty with all the people of the earth. So if you want to be a part of helping usher in the age of Aquarius, bringing this equality and this golden age to humanity, there is a worldwide meditation that is scheduled at a very important conjunction when Jupiter and Saturn come together. They come together every 20 years, but this particular conjunction, they're coming together the closest they've been since 1623. And the exact time of the conjunction is December 21st, and it's at 12:22 p.m. Central Time. There's going to be a mass meditation. People around the world are going to meditate and pray and focus on bringing in light from source, pulling in that Amrita from source, grounding it on earth, being in the presence of the divine, and sharing that divine bounty with all beings through our intentions. And there's been studies done that when people gather together in large numbers and meditate, it does actually affect the whole planet. So I hope that you will mark down this time and join us for this powerful meditation to help bring in this new age and bring in more abundance. So that brought me some hope this week in the midst of all the chaos and craziness and new lockdowns and all this stuff, just to keep in mind that we are going through a great change, but we are continuing to move into that golden age of Aquarius. So I hope that's helpful. Hope you all have a great day, a great week, and many blessings. Namaste.